You're listening to The Front Stretch on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio. Brought to you by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs. Online at joeskarting.com.
Welcome back to The Front Stretch, fueled by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs, located behind the Mid-America Center and right next to AMC Cinema, or down the street from Horseshoe Casino on 23rd Avenue in Council Bluffs. This is Turn 3, and we're talking today with race director for Beatrice Speedway, Dan Crawford. Dan, welcome to the show.
Glad to be on.
Well, race season's just around the corner, and you guys have some stuff coming up.
We have a Spring Nationals. That's going to be March 16th and 17th. It's kind of the first race of the year here in the Midwest. So that's our big show.
Okay, so coming up this weekend, take me through the weekend of events. What's going to happen on Friday, and then what's going to happen on Saturday?
Well, it's two individual shows. We went to that about 3 years ago. We have A features on Friday night, and Saturday night we start over with a brand new show. Thursday we do have Test and Tune for anybody that wants to come down, and we do that from 6 to 9.
Is that open to the public?
Yes, that is open to the public. We do not charge for the grandstands. There is a $10 pit pass that basically covers our insurance on Thursday night. But yeah, anybody's welcome to come down and test and tune, and from other tracks or whoever, anybody's welcome.
The Spring Nationals, this has been a long storied event, throughout the course of time, and we've seen a lot of national champions, either from the NASCAR ranks or the IMCA ranks or other sanctions, that have in the past raced the Spring Nationals. What are some of the big names that some of the folks can expect to show up at Beatrice this upcoming week?
Well, the biggest name we probably have is Jordan Karbowski, who was IMCA modified champion, who is our home track, races there. That's a big name. Of course, you have Johnny the Jet. And then we kind of get the best from everywhere. Ricky Steffen will be he's already registered. We got some guys coming from Canada. We got some guys coming from Wisconsin. So, it's kind of the best of the best and come down for this race.
A lot of people will go to these dirt tracks, whether it be Eagle or, sometimes at Beatrice or mid-Nebraska or wherever. And a lot of times the one thing I hear constantly from the fans and the drivers at Beatrice is there's a lot of action on the track, and you're not going to see races that are separated by 2 and 3 cars. All the cars are right there. You never know what's going to happen. A lot of fun times down there at Beatrice.
Yeah, it's a very competitive, and like I said, every class is becoming very competitive. We're going to stock cars this year. That's going to be a new class. I think that'll start to pick up. But yeah, our modified, you get some of those guys out there, and it's always a good racing. The sport mod class has really picked up gain, and I tell you what, you go 1 through 20, and anybody can win that thing. It's very, very competitive, and the hobby stock class, it's growing too, and it's very, very. All the classes are becoming very competitive. Even the sport compacts. So, we're starting to see some, there's some good competition in those classes too.
Talking today with Dan Crawford, race director for Beatrice Speedway here on the Front Stretch. Dan, talk a little bit about some of the changes you guys have made in the off season.
Well, I took this over in January, and I'm not your typical director promoter. I've never raced. I wouldn't know how to set up a car if you told me. I guess what I'm going to try to do is kind of change the culture down here at Beatrice. We've always tried to sell racing, and I think what we want to do is try to sell entertainment. People want to be entertained. You have those kind of the best description. You have a third, your top third people, or your third of your people are hardcore race fans that come every night, and you have the middle third that are fair weather, come when the weather's nice, and you have that bottom third that don't come. And what we're trying to do is we hired a marketer coordinator, a girl named Marsha Meadows, who does a lot for Eagle. We hired her, and we're trying to make a lot of changes down here. We hired 2 more announcers. We're going to have an infield announcer, an announcer upstairs, and then Marsha will be also down there. We're making a hospitality VIP area to the north where we can cater to our corporate people, and we're also going to start doing a meet and greet. We're going to probably start with modified. I'm lined up in front of the grandstands where people can come and meet and greet them and sign autographs and sit in their cars. one thing I've noticed over the 6 years that I've been on our race committees, there's kind of a disconnect between the fans and the racers, and I think that's important that we, get that connection, that people can see who's behind the wheel. So those are some of the changes. We're making a new victory lane. We're also going to start a new program called Rent-A-Car. One thing we've seen over the years is a lot of drivers leave the classes, but not a new drivers come in. So I got a couple guys building us some compacts. You'll be able to come out, rent the car. We'll provide the gear. Hopefully get them in the car. They get hooked, and they'll come back and, hey, man, I want to race. So we're really going to try to cater to the fans, try to provide them a lot of entertainment, and that always have something for them is basically what we're going to try to do.
Dan, you're bringing up a lot of neat ideas and promotional stuff. And I'm sitting here looking at the early pre-entry list for the Spring Nationals, and it is really overwhelming. I mean, you have guys coming from Oskaloosa, Iowa, Green Bay, Wisconsin, I'm seeing here, Springfield, South Dakota, Kildare, North Dakota, Newton, Iowa, Washington, Kansas. We have a lot of specials at all these different dirt tracks here in the Midwest, and you get a lot of drivers coming from different places. But this early in the year, I drive a sport mod, and I'm not even ready to go racing yet. I'm kind of enjoying the off season a little bit until middle of April or so. But with that being said, what is it about Beatrice that draws these guys, to Beatrice? Well,
we hired. I'm on the race committee, which the Fair Board runs the racetrack. One thing we did, we hired Toby Cruz, and that was a major step in the right direction. He really got the program moving, and really got the track. And the track has just been amazing the last 2 years. Prior to that, you were maybe lucky to leave in one piece, but the last 2 years, the track's been hard, it's been fast. And the town really embraces the race fans. I think that's the big thing. We're always glad to see everybody. Women for Racing, we put pancake feed out Saturday morning. We're having a hog roast during the day. So yeah, we really welcome them. We really want them to come and spend some time with us. But I think the track has been the big thing. They love racing on the track. It's smooth. It's fast. And you talk about pre-registrations. This is probably the most pre-registered we have ever had. I think last year we averaged 65 to 70 pre-registered. As of now, 4 days ago, we're over 130 pre-registered. So I think, we try to put on a good show. We try to be fair, and Toby's done an excellent job of that. And hopefully we're just holding out for good weather right now.
Hey, Dan, this is Andrew Koziski here. From a racer's point of view here, I'm going to ask you two questions real quick. First off, how much is it for a driver to get into this show? Is it an expensive entry fee? Do you got to buy your number, any kind of license, or is it just basically one big entry fee, get you in both nights?
There is a registration fee for each class. If you come down before, I think the modified is $100. And I don't have that paper in front of me. Sport mods are like 80, hobbies are somewhere 40, and compacts are 20. And then we do have a pit pass for each night. But I know the modifieds are guaranteed 75 to start the A feature. So our purse maybe isn't as top heavy, but what we tried to do is maybe pay back further. Went out to a promotional meeting in Reno, and that was one of the biggest things is, you got to pay back because not everybody's, finishes first, but a lot of people are out to race, to have fun, and it's expensive a hobby to do, and if we can help support everybody, that's what we're going to try to do.
Well, yeah, it's definitely an expensive hobby. The guys like me and Bud, we like when you pay back to the 10th, 12th, last place area. We enjoy that kind of thing.
I just like it when they pay back if they were to be featured.
Exactly, there you go. B feature gets paid more than dead last in the A. That works.
Yeah, it's a tough thing, and we're starting to work with Eagle a little bit here. One thing that we are doing is a month of May. If you race at Eagle, you come down in Beatrice, and you're going to be you can race for free that night, or at least we'll get your pit pass paid for. So that's one thing. We're concentrating on getting more fans in, but we also need the drivers because they're the one that put on the show.
Now, Dan, you brought up a good point working with Eagle Raceway. For the listeners and a lot of the drivers that don't know, can you go into this joint track point series that you guys are actually doing?
Yeah, we haven't totally released it yet, but we're hopefully going to announce a very sizable points fund with Eagle. Roger Hayden has been working on that. Hopefully we'll have it out here in the next week or so. But it's going to be a very sizable point fund. We're really excited about that. One thing that I learned that, you need to work with every track because it is a tough business right now with the economy, and it used to be, you tried to compete and you didn't want to work with them, and I think you got to think the opposite and try to work with each other and help each other out and do whatever you can.
We're talking this morning with Dan Crawford, race director for Beatrice Speedway here on the front stretch. Dan, you talked a little bit about some of the charities you guys work with.
Yeah, we have Women for Racing who does a lot for the drivers and a lot for the kids. They do the bike races and the money grab. We're also this next weekend Relay for Life. I think most people know about for cancer. We're going to have a vehicle out there for a free will donation. You can smash that. One thing I also started this year is fundraisers for anybody. Any group that wants to come and sell tickets. Our grandstand tickets are $10. Go out and sell as many as you want, and you're going to keep half the proceeds. And hopefully that helps the organization out. But I guess on my end, it hopefully gets new people into the grandstands that's never been there, and that way we can show them what we can offer, and maybe some of them get hooked on racing and decide to come back again.
Right. Do you guys have a website or a phone number where people can contact you, maybe a map where they can search you guys out and see what night you guys run, your start time, stuff like that?
Yeah, BeatriceSpeedway.com is our website. Otherwise, they can call me directly on my cell. It's 402-239-0109. Can answer any question that you have. Our opening season will start April 27th will be our opening night, so with a test and tune on the 14th. So, yeah, feel free to give me a call. I'll try to answer any question I can. Like I said, I don't know much on the technical, but we'll get you pointed in the right direction.
Again, Dan, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you. Any help we can get, we appreciate it.
All right, have a good season, and hope to see you out on the track.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
You bet.
Once again, that was Dan Crawford, race director for Beatrice Speedway. Kind of exciting time coming up. Dirt track racing still a little bit around the corner, but as Dan had talked about, we've got the Spring Nationals coming up this weekend at Beatrice Speedway. Guys, have you ever raced at the Spring Nationals?
No, I'm actually, I've got mixed feelings. I've got a lot of fans that want me to go down there and race my sport mod. And the only thing I hear every year, and I'm going to wait and see what happens this year, is there tends to be a lot of stuff. Andrew and I have been cooped up in the house for so long this winter. We're trigger finger happy. We're ready to get in our cars and go. And a lot of drivers like this. So the first time that they can get on dirt, they're going to be wide open. They're going to be driving over each other. And the problem is, as bad as we all want to go out there, we don't want to pour $10,000 into our programs just to go race one time and then have most of our weekly shows start up 2 weeks later just to pour another $10,000 to go fix what other people destroyed.
Yeah, and this is a little bit early to be racing, but your guys' cars, they're coming along?
Well, my Dirt Works is about done. My Prowler's still about halfway there. Andrew, I think, has got a fleet of about 53 different late models, so...
Andrew's got about 3 of them right now. One he hasn't touched, one he's got almost done, the other one he just saw Monday. So I'm not quite there yet either, bud.
Have you ever raced down at Beatrice?
I actually don't. My classic cars do not race there. They do not run the late models, and I'm kind of in the NASCAR series, not too much IMCA. But I have heard a lot about it. A lot of guys, a lot of good names. Sounds like it's going to be down there. Grabowski's a great driver. Sobbing's going to probably take over the sport mod if Tyler Fry doesn't stop him. I'm waiting for. I think Dylan Smith will be down there. His name ain't on there, but he's a good racer too.
You got Johnny Sadoff. You got Johnny Sadoff, a 4-time national champion. You got Dylan Smith, a 1-time national champion. Jordan Grabowski, a 1-time national champion. All within the Beatrice area. I mean, this is their home track for the most part. So that's some stiff competition. You got Jesse Sobbing from the Sport Mods. 50 to 60 wins a year, running 100 shows all over the nation.
So what you're telling me is that this weekend I should go down to Beatrice. I should go watch some great racing, get my fix a little bit soon before the season actually does kick off, and that this is almost, if I'm overstepping here a little bit, feel free to pull me back a little bit, but this is kind of like an all-star race.
Oh, you're going to see Hall of Famers. I think there's a lot of Hall of Famers, a lot of All-Stars in this race. You're going to see guys that may not have won a lot of races, but you're going to see guys that are going to accomplish a lot in their racing career. But the last 3 or 4 years that the Spring Nationals have happened, there's always been a national champion come out of Spring Nationals. At the end of the year when the dust settles and the beer starts flowing, there's a national champion coming out of Beatrice. Yeah. So I think we're gonna see that this year. Now the one class that's really got picked up, and it doesn't matter if you go to Podunk, Egypt, or I-80 Speedway, is the Sport Compacts. These guys put on a hell of a show. It's a front-wheel drive, 4-cylinder car. Dan, you could power one of these things. So, but, I mean, you see, this is the Sport Compacts are more of a starting class for the dirt track racing around here. And some of these guys are still going to run 40, 50 nights a week out here this year. So, yeah, if you want your racing fix, get your rear end, tail it on down to Beatrice. You're going to see some great racing, see some good people, see a lot of great action, just an all-around good time.
The important question, is there going to be green beer? That's something you got to go down to Beatrice and find out. This weekend, the 16th and 17th, Friday and Saturday, get down there, do yourself good, and get some racing in before the season kicks off in a couple of months.
Green beer?
Yeah.
You want to go check out Lisa Goki at the Dylan Smith Racing Trailer.
Okay.
There will be green beer.
If you want to party, Dylan Smith Racing is where it's at.
Is it?
I applaud.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll have to get down there one of these times. Turn 4 just around the corner. We're going to talk to Andrew about the EFI setup that NASCAR had this weekend and some of the issues they had. Stick close. It's the front stretch right here on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.
This is Andrew from Kaziski Auto Parts. Kaziski Auto Parts is an insurance-quality used parts supplier that can match your foreign or domestic car or truck needs. If you have a damaged or broke-down car or truck, we guarantee a clean and quality part in next-day fashion. Kaziski Auto Parts, your neighborhood premium recycled parts supplier. Call any Kaziski Auto Parts salesman today by dialing 402-731-4592 or visit us at 5040 I Street in Omaha. Kaziski Auto Parts. Our quality used parts will match your car or truck's needs.
Are you ready for fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing right here in the Metro? Get to Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs and see what it's like to race real go-karts. Joe's Indoor Karting knows it's no fun to race go-karts at 10 miles an hour, so they ripped the governors out, and now the only restriction is how good you are at racing. It's full-throttle, white-knuckle racing every day of the week. Head over to joeskarting.com for hours, prices, and specials, or give Buddy a call today and set up your group races at 712-256-3075.